In this video, I'm going to review and show you how to use the Munchkin bottle warmer. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Dan, and welcome to Parent Pacifier. On this channel, we help new and soon-to-be parents with tip videos and product reviews just like this one. So if you're new here, consider subscribing and hitting that bell icon so you never miss a video. And hey, quick question for you. If there's any products that you love or want to see reviewed, let us know in the comments below. This is the Munchkin high-speed bottle warmer. It comes in 4 parts: the actual warmer itself, the adapter ring for narrow bottles, the lift-out basket, and the measuring cup, where you'll fill your water in order to measure how much water you need to put inside of it. Now the warmer itself has this on switch, which comes with the light indicator, so when it's turned on, it lights up, lets you know that it's warming up. When it turns off, that's how you know that the warming is finished. Inside is the warming chamber, and here you have a little spot for your measuring cup. Now the cord is pretty long, but if you don't need that much length, you could actually coil up your cord. It actually comes with the cord coiled up, and then you could uncoil it or recoil it wherever you need to fit your purpose, so you don't have a wire hanging all over your countertop. But if you need to be able to reach to an outlet, the wire is definitely long enough. So it's very simple to assemble, it's easy to use, and it's fairly cheap. And you can check out the most recent price in the link that we provided below in the description. Now Munchkin says it takes about 90 seconds to warm up any bottle. And you would fill up this little cup with water to whatever level that you need for whatever size bottle you're filling. In the manual that comes with the Munchkin, it gives you a breakdown chart of exactly how much water to fill inside of your measuring cup, dependent on how much food, how much water that you have. You could actually fill up a glass jar, a glass bottle or plastic bottle. So if you're using baby food or formula or breast milk, whatever you're filling up in the bottle or jar, you could actually warm that up in here. And it breaks it down by letters. On here it says FEDCBA, right? That's the measuring of how much water you could put in here. So let's say you have a 5-ounce wide bottle, sort of like this Dr. Brown's right here, that's wide, and it goes up to 5 ounces. Let's say it's a full 5 ounce of chilled formula or chilled breast milk. You would fill this up, then you would fill this up to the line C. Now I would actually recommend testing out different levels of the water, because we found for the fatter bottles, the wider bottles, we actually needed to fill up to letter F in order to warm up the entire bottles because we were using chilled formula. But as of now, we've been using the narrow Dr. Brown's bottles, which for us, for the narrow Dr. Brown's bottles, we fill up to E. So what we do for that is we put in the lift out basket so that you could grab this little handle and lift the bottle out so you don't burn yourself. And then you would fill in your water, put the bottle in here, and for the narrow bottles you want to use the adapter ring so that it keeps the steam inside and warms up that milk without it going all over the place. But if you have a wide bottle, if you're using a shorter wide bottle like the wide Dr. Brown's, or even if you're using an Advent bottle, if you're using the Munchkin latch bottle, those are fatter and you wouldn't use the adapter ring for it because it won't fit in. Now once you put the water in, once you put in your bottle, all you do is you press this little button right here. It turns on, the light goes on, and it starts to heat up. You can hear the water starting to boil. The water is going to actually evaporate from the heat. Now, one thing we like to do, especially when we're waking up in the morning, if you turn this on, you go and change the baby. By the time you finish, the light's going to go off, and you'll be ready with a warm bottle. Now, hey, while this bottle's warming up, if you're interested in any other product reviews, you can click this YouTube card above if you're watching on YouTube, or in the description below. Once that light goes off, you'll hear a little click, and there it is. Now, you don't want to touch the bottle right away because it is going to be hot up here. We sometimes take a paper towel and just grab it, especially if we're going fast, because the bottle is wet. Otherwise, you can just take this lift-up basket and walk with the bottle without having to touch the steam. Now your bottle will be wet with condensation, so you'll want to take that paper towel or whatever you have to be able to clean off the bottle so that your baby's not getting all that wet and you're not getting wet on your hands when you're feeding them. Also, the ring could be really hot up here, so you'll want to just shake around the bottle a little bit just so that this ring can cool down and wipe that down before you give it to your baby. Now, one thing we did notice when we first started using this, with like 2 ounces or under 4 ounces, it gets really hot. It got too hot at some points. So what we had to do is after we heated up the 2 ounces, 3 ounces, 4 ounces even, we would throw it in the freezer for about a minute or less. and then test it on our arms. So you would test the bottle, see how it is. If it feels way too hot or not hot enough, then you'll either want to put it back on with a little bit more water, or you'll want to throw the bottle in the freezer or refrigerator for another minute just to cool it down a little bit so you're not burning your baby. One thing that we've noticed is with the wide bottles, especially with the wide Dr. Browns, we've had some overflow. We think it has to do with the straw, but we've had some overflow into here. We think it's either gotten too hot and it somehow sucks up through the straw and will come out the top and overflow into here. And at that point, you have to clean this out, which is not fun. So in order to clean this, you don't really want to throw in chemicals because, of course, those chemicals are going to go all over the baby's bottle. So what we've used is just vinegar. We've gotten this big, cheap jug of vinegar. And what we do is open it up after it's cooled down and it's not hot anymore, and just pour a little bit of vinegar right in, and it will start to take up some of that residue. You could actually use this for a whole lot of baby products, like if you use a bottle steamer to sanitize your bottles or anything else. We just put this in there. You could put a little bit of distilled water too, so that it will pick up some of that grime that builds up in the bottom, especially if you're using tap water. Tap water is going to build up a lot of grime into a lot of different things, so using vinegar does help pull that up in a natural way. And I would recommend leaving it in there for a while, maybe 10-15 minutes, and then pour it out into your sink and use like a paper towel. And you might need to scrub and do it again. And if there's a lot, like especially if your bottle overflowed, you may need to do a second treatment of pouring a little bit more vinegar in there. Just don't forget to pour your vinegar out of it, and then now you're heating up vinegar on your bottle, and that just won't smell good for the baby or for your house. One other thing we've noticed is that it's just sometimes inconsistent. I don't know if that has to do with how much water we're pouring in or if it just inconsistently heats it up. Now, one other thing is you can't actually turn it off once it's going. So if you hit this button on and it starts going, you're going to have to unplug it. Now, the weird thing that I did notice is when you press that button and it's on and you unplug it, when you plug it back in, it's automatically still on. So you have to let it go through its cycle in order for it to turn off. That is a weird thing. I don't know why there isn't an off button on here. For those instances where you turn it on and you're like, oh, I put too much water, I didn't put enough, or your bottle's already going, your baby falls asleep and doesn't need the bottle now. You got to just pull the bottle out and let it keep going. So it's not a perfect system, but it definitely works really well. It suits our purpose that we've had, especially because we only have one kid, so we only need to heat up one bottle at a time. But this one is fairly cheap, and it works fairly well. So hey, if this is helpful for you at all, or is there anything else that you need to know about this Munchkin bottle warmer, let us know in the comments below, and then check out one of these selections from Parent Pacifier. Thank you for watching. We look forward to seeing you in the next video.